Good morning and welcome to our South Placer Regional Transportation Authority meeting. Today is August 27th and we are going to start out with the flag salute. So today, would you do the honor? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, so would you please read the meeting procedures?
Roll call real quick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yes, please.
Broadway.
Here.
Brown. Jones.
Here.
All right. Do meeting procedures. Deja vu here. Good morning, everyone. Agendas are available on the back table here in the board chambers or available on the PCTPA website. If you'd like to speak during the meeting, please direct your comments to the board. If you're here in person, we ask that you come to the podium as this meeting is being recorded. If you're joining us by Zoom, you could signal you wish to speak by using the raised hand button. If you're on the phone, press *9 and we'll call on people in the order requests are received. If you'd like to comment on an item that is not listed on the agenda, please do so under public comment. The Brown Act requires the public have an opportunity to comment on every item on the agenda. We ask that you keep your comments to 3 minutes and invite you to consider stating your name for the record this morning. Your time will be monitored. If you're speaking at the podium, a yellow light will turn on to let you know you have 1 minute left to wrap up. For those participating online, you'll hear a beep when you have 1 minute remaining. Thank you for your participation.
Thank you for that. Okay, we're going to move on to agenda item C, agenda review.
Madam Chair, no changes to the agenda.
Okay, great, thank you. And then now item D, AB 2449.
Madam Chair, no changes are required, no action relative to AB 2449.
Okay, we're going to move on to approval of the minutes from June 25th.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. Okay, public comment. Anyone in the audience would like to make a public comment? Anyone online?
Yeah.
Okay. That was fast. We're going to move on to item G, Tier 2 Development Impact Fee Allocation Request for the Placer Parkway Phase 1 project. And who's going to present today? Okay, Rick, thank you.
Good morning, Chair and Board.
Good morning.
You know, I think today's a great day. I'm excited that we're doing this allocation. You know, Placer Parkway is such a big project for the region. So I think it's a little something to celebrate. As I mentioned, this item is a construction allocation for the Placer Parkway interchange. Placer County is the lead for this. They are planning to advertise bids for this project in October, and so they've requested an allocation for construction as well as some additional funds for right-of-way and environmental costs. Up on the slide, you know, is a kind of a layout of the work. That project's going from Foothill Parkway all the way over to University. What's kind of shown in green is the portion the county's going to be building with that contract. You know, from Foothills up over the railroad, kind of the western half of the interchange. You can see on the far right is a little area highlighted in blue, and Rockland is building that piece. We had a little allocation came to them several months back to cover that piece of work because they wanted to advance it. Next slide. Just in terms of a little bit of background, this shows prior allocations to the county for the project. There's a little bit of funds, $2 million from from Tier 1 for environmental. They've got $12 million that was previously allocated for design and right-of-way and utilities, about $6 million each. Their current construction estimate is about $160 million. $15 million of that is for a Placer County Water Agency water line that's going through there. That's being paid for by the water agency. It's not a SPRTA cost. They also have about $9 million of funds that are coming from the United Auburn Indian Community. It's a contribution to the project. That leaves an estimated balance of $136 million as a SPRTA share of costs. Next slide, Mike. Again, kind of a little bit of background. The Tier 2 fee program, about 99% of the Tier 2 fee program goes to Placer Parkway. The other roughly 1% is earmarked for the interchange. That fee program assumes $475 million for Placer Parkway. To just kind of put it into context, $475 million total. This is looking at $139 million. And of that 475, 463 is unallocated. So the table shows their allocation request. They've had about a $200,000 kind of overage in the environmental phase. And under the fee program, 100% of the costs are reimbursable, so they've got actual eligible costs, so those are eligible costs. They've also requested another 2.9 for right-of-way and utility relocation costs. They went through some condemnation efforts, and so there's some higher costs that basically they ran into going through condemnation for right-of-way. And then the construction phase from the prior slide, $136 million. So that request, $139,100,000. Next slide, Mike. You probably won't be surprised when I tell you that we don't have $139 million in SPRTA fees sitting around. So we have an unallocated balance of roughly $6 million, right? So the allocation is going to far exceed the current amount of cash that we have on hand. The county's well aware of this. They are advancing other funds for construction. You guys may be aware they've got there was a loan agreement with UAIC for about $27 million. So the tribe will loan that to the county. The county will use that as part of the funding for the project. But then again, that's all eligible SPRTA costs. So we'll pay back the county will pay back the tribe for those costs. So this is really going to create a long-term obligation for repayment. Back in 2023, there was an agreement between all of the SPRTA members recognizing this and that the county was going to advance funds and that it would be paid back over time as the revenue came in. So this is all consistent with that agreement from 2023. So our intent is to make quarterly payments on this until it's paid off. At current rates, 15, 20 years perhaps. So it's a long-term, it's kind of a long-term plan. The other intent is when the project construction is completed and we have actual final costs, we'll come back and revise the allocation, sort of match it to the penny instead of an estimated cost. So next slide, Mike. So this is the requested action, allocate the $139.1 million to the project. And as outlined there, $200,000 for environmental, $2.9 for right-of-way, $136 million for construction phase. And I'm happy to answer any questions on the allocation. And there's some county staff here if there's any kind of project-specific questions anyone has.
Okay. I think it's time for a bake sale.
Yeah.
Questions, please.
Do we have a sense for how quickly we believe funding is going to be needed that exceeds the amount that is currently available?
This is just my guess as an engineer. I think if they advertise this in October and they start in the spring, my guess is before the end of next calendar year we'll probably be, out of cash, so to speak.
Okay, so end of '26 we'll be at a point where we'll need advances on the funding.
That would not surprise me.
Okay, and do we kind of have a sense running parallel with that where we expect the fees, the SPRTA fees, to be collected? So have we kind of figured that out?
So we are, it varies a bit, right? Because it's the housing fee.
You mean things don't come online?
We're averaging $5 to $6 million a year in cash that's coming in. And so if you just use that number, you're looking something like 20 years. But you recall the Tier 2 has some fee deferrals. So there's fee deferrals that if deferrals didn't exist, we would have higher revenue. Those deferrals will end in 2035. So a decade from now, relatively speaking, the fees will go up. And then at some point, those fees will get repaid. So if it drags out that long, we'll get larger chunks of cash. But my guess is, just kind of, like I said, I did the math, just kind of, you know, guessing probably 15 years out to repay it.
Okay, great. And again, I'm not expecting that we would have exact dates, but just a general sense for that time frame. And 15 years, given the fact that we're not even going to start the auxiliary lane work until 27, so that's okay. 15, we can live with that, and we understand the importance of Placer Parkway and that connectivity. So thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Question?
I was going to echo the same thing.
Oh, okay, okay. I'd kind of like to invite the county up to give us a little rundown of,
Yeah.
if you would, from a county perspective. Going to
glad
talk about the stubborn people along the way?
Good morning. Richard Moorhead with
morning.
Department of Public Works in Placer County. It's always easier to come up and answer questions as opposed to
I
come up
know,
and just
I
do this.
know.
But the one thing I think just, this project has been going on a really long time, right?
Yeah.
It was 1999, we started even looking at the route, what route should be adopted. 2009, I think it was, the route actually got adopted. 2000, and then we did a Tier 1 high-level analysis. And then subsequent to that, the county went forward and did the project level analysis, finished that up for environmental clearance. In 2015, we've been working on it, you know, lately, the last couple of years, very, very diligently. It's a key piece of infrastructure. This is the first phase, the most expensive phase, and we're excited to get it moving. So I'm not sure if there's any specific questions, but just really, we are happy to finally get this thing underway, and it's a key piece of infrastructure for all of us. Eventually, you know, it connects 65 over to 99, and it's that parallel facility to 80 that will allow people from kind of that zone and area, whether it's Rockland or Lincoln, and the county, to get out to 99, whether it's to Center Point or down into Sac County.
Yeah, exactly. I was on the MAC, the Granite Bay MAC, about the time you got the second level done, and it was like, oh, we're getting a Placer Parkway, and I know it was going to take a long time to do it.
It's complex, and this first phase really is the most difficult, right? We're finishing out the interchange and Caltrans right away. The only people that are harder to deal with than Caltrans, quite frankly, are the railroad. We're going over their tracks. So there are some challenges there and hurdles.
Oh, yeah.
And this is certainly the most expensive piece and most challenging. So once this is in, it'll be much easier to move forward.
We had some
on those
stubborn
features.
landowners as well.
That's true, too. Yeah.
Took a lot of nudging and pushing and pain. Okay, well, any questions for the county? No questions. Okay, well, thank you for that. Okay, since we have no more questions, I guess anybody in the public? Oh, good, okay.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Oh,
Yes, Michael, we can hear you.
Thank you. Michael Garavedian, Placer County. This is the first time I've ever talked to you about... Never mind. This is one of the many times. And I'm reminded of what Emerson said about foolish consistency. And I think that's maybe all that needs to be said. And really, the casino had no alternative because of what you're talking about. And the idea of a Placer Parkway that I would say dumps people on Highway 99 is just such a bad idea. I mean, where are they going to go? You know, are they going to take the road? Are they going to cut down and go down Watt Avenue? It's not good planning. I don't know how and why it exactly happened, but obviously it's part of the Placer County Conservation Plan, which was illegal in the first place because it's only supposed to be approved with landscape level ecosystem protection, which we don't have there. So as a transportation issue, I wish somebody was looking to the future with an alternative track. You've got all this time where you're going to be counting on it for years and years, and if there's an beginning time to look for an alternative, this is it, to try to figure out what can be done. I mean, the people moving in there in their homes, Bosch, these people are going to wise up that what they're being told is going to solve the traffic problems is not going to solve them. And so if the county is going to do something, maybe somebody else is going to have to try to figure out how to do something to address this serious need for correction. I noticed even in the Kylie, on the Kylie item, that the transportation expert from UC Davis commented on that and made the quite accurate thing that helped to defeat Measure M back in 2016, the handout from that transportation academic institution about simply supply and demand. You know, that if there's the demand is there and you create an opening, it fills up immediately, and that's the future. We need the three of you there to start putting on your thinking hats, to put it that way. If anyone can begin to do it, to say, look at this time frame. Isn't there something we can do? Is it really true? And I'll finish on this, that this is a disaster waiting to happen unless we start to figure out what to do now. So I'm sorry, I oppose this, but I do wish you good luck in applying yourselves to an alternative, to at least begin to look at that seriously. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Michael. Okay, any other questions, comments? Okay, I'll bring it back to the board then for action.
Yes, I will move approval of item G, Tier 2 Development Impact Fee Allocation Request for the Placer Parkway Phase 1 project.
Okay. All those in favor, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. We're going to move on to H, the Executive Director's Report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just really briefly, I did want to say, as we've been taking this victory lap around build, I think SPRTA should be really proud, right? Because SPRTA was what brought us the local match and the ability to apply for that funding as well when we weren't successful for the measure in 2024. So, thank you to SPRTA and everybody else, because that brought us the $5 million, which essentially we will now take for every SPRTA dollar, we will leverage that with $4 of federal money. So it's a heck of a force multiplier. Did want to let you know too, in the staffing area, that with Rick's retirement this December, Corey will be transitioning in as our staff lead for SPRTA. So over the fall, you'll probably see Corey more presenting at SPRTA. And really a lot of great thanks. Rick has been tutoring and mentoring Corey, and even putting together a transition plan and a guide. So, and he's promised that we can have the bat phone and dial him maybe a max of twice a month or something like that. But just a little bit of a teaser, a heads up, you will see a transition of staff as we move from Rick over to Corey into 2026. That's the end of my report.
Very good. Okay. Well, that's good to hear. Board direction to the staff? No direction to the staff, other than have a great day. Information items are in your packet, and our next regularly scheduled SPRTA meeting will also be September 24th. See you all then. Meeting is adjourned.